I personally know very well that it can be pretty frustrating when you see a style of design that you like or you think is really, really cool and you're just not sure what to call it. You go to Pinterest and you'll try a couple things and you're really just not finding this style of design, or you're not finding the references that you need, or everything that's coming up just doesn't reflect what you are looking for. Well, today I've got a list of Pinterest keyword search terms that you can use to find these styles of design, gather all the references that you need, and help expand your catalog of design knowledge, which will also help you hone in and craft your taste personally as a designer. Since I'm kind of biased, we're gonna start with one that's very, very close and near and dear to my heart. We're gonna start with luxury typography clothing. Now, I've gone ahead and searched this in Pinterest, and already a couple of your eyes are probably lighting up saying, oh, this is exactly what I was looking for and didn't know what to call it because I've seen it on the street, or I've seen it randomly with the Instagram ad, or I saw it in my Pinterest feed once while I was scrolling through, but I was looking for something else and then I wanted to come back to it, but I couldn't find it. This is exactly what you need to type in to find all of these awesome clothing designs. And I will say, Pinterest is kind of like any other algorithm-based platform. When you click on something, it's going to show you more of that thing naturally in your home feed, but also getting closer and closer and closer and closer, honing in whatever style of whatever you're clicking on. So this is showing me a bunch of different luxury typography clothing designs, but if I click on one that's very script heavy with some small text, it's gonna continue to show me more of that, and then I can chase that rabbit all the way down the hole. And that's gonna be pretty consistent with all of these search terms. Is once you have your initial results of all of these images that pop up, try to pick the one that best represents what you're going for, and then it's gonna show you more. Don't get frustrated if initially it doesn't show you exactly what you want. Just find the thing that's closest, and then it'll get closer and closer and closer as you click through. So my second search term, and it's just gonna be good for everybody, it's gonna be just great for you overall as a designer, is typography, design, layout. And right off the bat, you're gonna see a lot of type and a lot of layout. And that's good because that caters towards basically every style of design that exists. You have to know how to use fonts, and you have to know how to lay typography out. The more text boxes that you add in a composition, the more difficult it gets to discern where to put it, what font size to use, how far should those be spaced out. And so looking at that being done is going to help you understand how to do it yourself. Basically, what we're doing is a designer's form of exposure therapy. That's really all this is. You're going to expose yourself to as much design as possible and chase that rabbit hole down as far as you can in Pinterest to get as close as to what you're looking for. And then you can save these to different boards and just amass a reference catalog of things to try for your designs. Knowing how to lay out typography really, really well is a skill that's just literally never going to go out of style or out of need. Another pretty popular one right now is Conceptual Sketch graphic design. So up front, you're going to see a lot of doodles. Some of them are clean, like they've been illustrated in Illustrator or drawn with a monoline pen. But others are going to be kind of sketchy and are going to have that kind of pencil or pen mark look. Personally, this is kind of what I was going for, this very kind of naive doodle style paired with typography. And well, what would you know? If you click on that once, it's going to show you more of that. So already I've got like 10 other, more than 10, like multiple references off of just clicking off that one thing that I can save to a whole board to give me a bunch of ideas for later. The next one is Utilitarian graphic design. You most definitely have seen this at least once at some point, but essentially it's going to be a bunch of typography and iconography and grid layout together. So we're gonna see some type with maybe some icons, maybe a photo. It's very boxy and balance driven. So something like this, where things are in boxes and you're basically just trying to fill every gap and every space so that you have a very full composition. That's what utilitarian design is going for. Another one that is very near and dear to my heart, mid-century graphic design is amazing and also trending right now. Stuff like this, or maybe this poster right here are just absolutely wonderful. They are also typography and kind of very, very simple drawing, like outline illustration driven. And so you can find some really, really, really cool stuff by clicking through some of these designs. I mean, that's awesome. It's very typography layout with a cutout of looks like a martini glass. I would classify that as mid-century. That looks pretty cool. But the mid-century poster design is just trending right now. It's going pretty hard. So learning how to make a couple of these designs yourself would probably do you a lot of good. Next, we have gradient graphic design. This just hasn't gone away. It's been here for a while, and I think it's here to play and it's here to stay. So we've got some really, really cool stuff that'll be, you know, gradient plus type, or we've got these really cool gradient shapes. Particularly right now is what I see a lot of, where you have these shapes that are grainy and fluid kind of gradient shapes. We have a lot of these in Kittl, by the way. If you search grainy, fluid gradient shape or something like that, it'll pop up, and there's tons of them in there. They're pretty awesome. Go have a look. But the other thing that you can do, and you can see that here, is you can blur photos to give you that gradient background look as well. If the photo is super vibrant and you blur it, maybe put grain or a halftone on it, you're going to get a similar effect. Very, very cool. Definitely worth a search, and go have a look for yourself. So this next search term is definitely going to show you some stuff that you've probably never seen before, and that's a good thing. Experimental graphic design is perfect for when you're feeling super creatively stuck, you don't know what to make, you're bored, you need some new inspiration, you want to be different, you want to learn something new. This is the search term for you. So as you scroll through, you're going to find probably a mixture of stuff that you've already seen and a mixture of stuff that you haven't seen. And that's just really great because it's not overtly overwhelming all at the same time, but it's still going to show you new things. Like this, I had never even thought about taking a shape and then blurring half of it and then having the other half of it be not blurred. That's really, really cool. Or stuff like this, I would consider that super experimental. Basically anything that you can find to spark an idea was worth the time crawling through and searching. So another search term is mixed font design. This is going to be really, really helpful with one, font pairing, but also mixing fonts within the same text box or text line. Stuff like this has become really, really popular. And if you can go down a rabbit hole with this stuff and save some references, maybe create a new board to pin some of this stuff to have on tap for your upcoming designs, then I think it's going to help you out a lot. It just adds a lot of character and a lot of intrigue to something that just wouldn't be as interesting if it was just one line of the same font. Next, we have Surrealism Graphic Design. I did a video on this before, which we'll link in the cards for you to watch if you're interested in that, but I essentially kind of categorized Surrealism Design as a mixture between stuff that is real and stuff that is not real. So normally you're going to take something that is real and then you're going to add elements that are not real together to make something new that is kind of like a mixed media thing. So for example, this is a mixture of a bunch of real pictures, but they've been placed together in a way that just seems super surreal and photoshopped. Here's another wonderful example. We've got a photo and then we've got some lines to kind of outline him, and then we've got a cloud that goes over top of the face, just creating a very surreal effect. Here's another awesome example. This one's a little bit more tame, but the colors are very vivid and the type plays nicely with the design. So definitely a great search term if you're looking for a trip, and it's definitely going to give you some cool new ideas. Next, we're going to do collage graphic design. I'll admit, personally, I suck at collage graphic design. It's just very difficult for me to wrap my head around, and so seeing it done well is super helpful for me. So maybe you're in that boat with one of these categories or all of them. So basically what we're doing is we're exposing ourselves to whatever that style of design is done well so that we know what to work towards. We have a goal. But stuff like this I find just super awesome. Collections of things with doodles and squiggles and typography is pretty awesome, and compositionally this is really helpful for me to see this done and actually gives me some ideas of my own. Another term that I've seen a lot lately is mixed media graphic design, and I'm almost a little bit unsure how to categorize this, but I'll do my best. Essentially, I feel like it's just a mixture design program with real scanned things. So, for example, they've taken a bunch of scanned images and put them together with typography, and it creates this mixed media effect. You can also do this with video, and it seems extremely time consuming, but the ending compositions are always very, very professional, very intriguing, and just a lot of great work to crawl through here. One last one is ink trap font design. I love ink trap fonts. Personally, I use them when I'm doing something that's just type that has little to no intrigue, and I just want it to be just slightly more interesting. And so having these little ink traps, these little cuts and dips in the fonts, can be a great way of adding some intrigue and some interest to your composition. One, this is going to help you find new fonts to use, and two, it's going to show you how to use them in creative ways. So those are a couple of my favorite Pinterest keywords. If you have some favorite keywords of your own that you use with Pinterest, drop them in the comments below, and make sure to like this video while you're at it. If I might add, it would be super helpful if you guys also subscribed to the channel. Make sure that you don't miss any news updates or design related content here on the Kittl YouTube channel. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.